Hello guys, and today we're gonna take a look at the patch note for CB0.21, Hands of the Gods. So, I really feel weird to do the patch notes after the patch is released, because then you don't have, the hype and everything looking at the patch notes. But like I said to one of the comments in my video, is like the problem with the last two patch is that they released a patch, and at the same time while the patch is downloading, they basically put the patch notes out. So I have to make a choice as a content creator to either do the first look at the patch gameplay or the patch notes. And this is why my two last patch notes review were after the patch came out. But each time if I could do the patch before the patch notes review before the actual patch, don't worry, that's for sure. I'm going to do it that way, and that's what I prefer. So let's go into this one. Starting out that CB0.21, we don't know what happened with CB0.20 though. It's like they literally passed through it. Maybe a patch we didn't even know. I really don't know what happened there. So Hands of the Gods saying that, it's basically gonna be the new game of the new name of the game. So today we're announcing the official name change of Smite Tactics to Hand of the Gods Smite Tactics. So Smite Tactics was always meant to be a working title for a new strategy game set in the Smite universe, and this name change is one of many steps we're taking to bring the game closer to a finished product with its own identity. So the past 4 months of closed beta put heavy emphasis on content and overall polish added to Hands of the Gods. The Roman and Chinese pantheon were added, each bringing their own strength and weakness to the game. The core gameplay has evolved with the introduction of summoning stones serving as the new primary objective. Hands of the Gods has gone through numerous iterations since the original closed alpha, and these major updates, coupled with dozens of brand new minions, gods, and spell cards, have added more variety and strategic playstyle for each match for players to experiment with. Okay, so what's new? There's a new AFK rule. So now player will be flagged as AFK if they've not taken any action during their turn. Basically, if you don't, like, here's the actions. If you don't play a card, move a unit, select the card or a unit, you can be AFK. So FK is flicking on you, and then you have 90 seconds, and your turn's going to be reduced to 50 seconds instead of 90, unless you do one of these following action, and then it will restore your timer to 90 seconds. And if you don't do anything before your turn, in the next 3 turns, then the game will end and rewarding the other player with a victory. And this is really cool because there's a lot of people who just queue and forgot that they queue. So, at least now it's going to be less annoying to deal with AFK players. Emotes. So this patch, they added emotes to the game. While in game, you have access to these emotes. Good luck, you rock, amazing, good game, oops, curses, thanks, and laugh. And I will have liked if they added sorry for some reason. Every leader will have their own custom voice line for each line. You're also able to mute your opponents by clicking on the white chat bubble next to the player game. For example, if one of your opponent is spamming laugh or something like that, it's really annoying. This patch introduced leader skins. These skins are purely cosmetic and feature customized emotes and voice line. Players are able to unlock these skins by core packs and crafting system. Yeah, they cost a lot. They cost 1,280 to craft one. No, 1,240 to craft one. It's 80. 1,280 to craft one. And these are the skins. Celestial Eyes. I'm not gonna read these. You basically have the skin cards. My preferred one is Torment Bellona here. Probably followed from the Guan Yu, and then like the Ra. Yeah. So there's different tastes there. The new leader, Nox, has joined in this patch. Legendary 1/6, set an enemy attack range to melee until the start of your next turn. So, basically, this only affects range units, and it's making them melee. So they can still move, they can still attack, right? So, it's basically, it basically just affects I mean, more than 50% of the units are melees. So it can only affect half the units, and then you need to have the mana, and then you need to have something ranged to attack it. I mean, giving that Nox is range, so yes, you're gonna have 1/3 damage, but like, and my biggest concern is that Venator already has Pardon, like 99% of the time, unless you misplay it or like you really not like, the Roman Pantheon needs to always be all together, so it's pretty easy for your Venator to have the Pardon effect, which means that he will not take return damage. So Nox using her ability, like the Venator is not gonna get anything extra, right? And if you go with like melee attacks, you're not gonna get anything extra. Like your Thracian attacking still gonna work. So yeah, you see, I don't think that's really good. But I mean, if for example you use that on an opponent's Sylvanas and you kill it with one of your I don't know, one of your Nox and your Venator, for example, then your Nox doesn't get the damage, or if you use your own Sylvanas to kill the enemy Sylvanas, then the Nox has a lot of value. So, this ability can be really, really good, but there's so many conditions that you have to meet in order to be really good. And I feel like Bellona, it's like no matter what, Bellona, if you play a unit, you can boost it for 2 mana, give it +2 health, and that's really good with Venator, right? Venator with 2 health is really susceptible to get clean, but like any, like Rain of Arrows, Sunder, Thanatos, you name it, Judgment, there's so many stuff that can kill it. And Nox cannot give them the double health or the 2 extra health to get 4. And with Venator being able to came from Sagittarius that it's played, and from Enlist, and to just the normal Venators, this is like the main range unit of the Pantheon. And Nox really doesn't have so much synergy with that, and Bellona has a lot with that. So I think that really, I think that until proven otherwise, Bellona is still going to be a little bit more useful than Nox. Nox being really niche, especially with the dominance that we saw in the last patch of Norse and like Guan Yu. We also saw a lot of Zeus, right? Nox is going to be good against Zeus, but then against Guan Yu and Freya Odin, the Norse one, that ability is not going to work on these leaders. They're already melee. So moving on. New card, Apollo, Greek, rare, 3 mana, 1/3, can attack twice per turn. Okay, so anything that's going to boost the attack of Apollo, going to make him a 4/3. Unless he attacks a range unit, he will take double the return damage, and he only has 3 life. So he can attack something that has 1 attack in that range, for example, an opponent leader. But then you have to be really careful. But he's really good to kill Uguays, to kill Imperial Guards. He's really good to kill, for example, Nemesis, Brontas, Doom Speakers, the best stats. What else is he good, right? And I'm saying a lot of 4 health minions. Why? Because it's really easy for Greek to give Apollo 1 attack. For example, you combine that with Sign of Doom. That's really easy. Then your Apollo gets +1 attack. You can combine it with an annual flag. Also, that you can do that. I found a deck that's really cool to play with. The Greeks like aggro deck. There's like Apollo in there. It's really fun, and we're probably gonna show it soon in the YouTube. So yeah, next. Wait, I was talking about the buffs. Yeah, Deadbringer is not really a card you want to buff it, but it exists, and I believe that's like the buffs that you have in Greek. So yeah, even a 1/3 attack 2 times, it's cool because you can attack, then move, then attack again. The first attack doesn't exhaust you, so it's really cool. Enrage, rare 3 mana, your leader again +4/+0 and dies at the end of the turn. So that's like a finish card for Norse. 3 mana is a lot though, especially for a Pantheon that can play a bunch of stuff for free. You're gonna look at the next card, you're gonna understand. So yeah, range could be one of, but if you have to close the game with that, because then your leader dies, you have to replay, you cannot spawn stuff on your opponent's side of things. So really, it's mainly for the burst damage at the end that could play. So maybe we can see one. If you want to play 2, it's gonna cost you 6 mana. It's gonna be a lot. So yeah, we never know. If Norse really becomes more and more aggro, maybe that could be really, really good card, since you're gonna need any way to deal damage. Um, Gift of Mana Nourish, common 0 mana. Whenever your leader attacks, draw a card. Okay, can we just take a moment and think about it, right? 0 mana, which means that you basically choose when you want this, right? Meaning that you can start the game with that, and it costs nothing to play, right? So if you go second, you can, if the enemy leader took the middle choke point, for example, you can just play that on your Odin or on your Freya, advance, deal 1 damage, draw a card, right? So for example, this means that not only for the rest of the turns now, because it's permanent, you're going to be able to always draw 2 cards instead of 1 by attacking like a Summoning Stone or the leader. Not yet too much damage. Even if you're Odin, you can boost yourself to get that health that you will not lose. Or like, it's insane, right? It's insane. And it's minimum 1 card, right? Why it's minimum drawing a card? So it replaces itself and you lost 0 mana because that cost 0. Because you choose when your leader can attack. So you're only going to play that when you know your leader is going to get at least an attack or more. If you top deck that, you can just play it on the spot. The only way this card is bad is if you play 2 of them, it doesn't trigger twice. So that's the only thing. But except that, it's insanely good, right? You're always going to draw a card. If not, you're just not going to play it now. You're going to wait until you can do it. So yeah, that makes it really, really annoying. Why? Because the only thing that Norse was missing, because they have like overstated minions and units, they have a lot of aggressive stuff, they have charge in there, everything is so cheap in the Pantheon. They really have, like, the only thing they're missing was basically late game. There was nothing costing more than 5, even the Ymir was really strong, a whole lot of health, and insane ability for 5 mana. Loki, same thing. They didn't have any late game. But with Gift of Mana, you're able to draw so much card throughout the game. Even 2, 3, 4. Like, it's insane. And then you have, because all of your cards are really cheap, like, you basically have a late game with a bunch of, like, so many cards that you can just, like, vomit into the battlefield. And it's really, really scary, because Norse was really good before, like, with Infinite Freya, Range, Banish, and stuff like that. So that's just pumping Norse more now. So moving on, we have Hyena, a neutral, rare 2/2. That gain +1/+1 whenever another friendly beast enters the battlefield. So it's another starting. I see Nuwa, you want to play that for sure. It's just basically a card for Nuwa. I don't think it's going to be played in any other deck except Nuwa. But with Nuwa, it's amazing because you're probably always going to have that synergy if you play on curve, right? Like Harpy on turn 3, and then you go with Uguays or Stone Guardians. And then you go with like Kang, Bulldippin' King, Fanways. And then you go with like Fury. And then that's about it, right? So you have so much energy, you can have a good curve with that. Hyena's just going to get buff, 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 buff. So yeah, that's a really good snowball card for Nuwa. Ritatosker, another Norse card, and it's a rare 2 mana 2/3. Whenever these units attack, deal 1 random damage to an enemy. So that can hit Summoning Stones, can hit Heal Leader, but basically you have a 3 attack, 2 mana for a 3/3, but one of that damage is random, so maybe it can be a little bit hard. But okay, can we just talk about how Thracian is a 1/3 for 2 mana in Roman? And if you're the Jason, it gets +1 attack. I mean, I get it, right? Norse are supposed to be focused for early game. So that's why Rathathosker is better than Thracian. Okay. But then they just get like Gift of Mana, giving Norse such a good late game. Sometimes it's really hard to understand. Like, look, 3 health is also hard to deal with. I would have preferred, if they really want North to be aggressive, give him a 3/2. At least he's going to die to some of the removals, right? Ritatosker being a 3/2 and deal 1 random damage to an enemy will be 2 mana for 4/2, which would be actually really good, but at least, he's gonna be focused on being really aggressive and can die a little bit easier. And then you will have Thrashin, who's gonna be basically a little bit different, right? Because right now it's just they're the same card, but Rathalos is like better for sure. Not only he always has one more attack, so it's the base same stat line if Thrashin is adjacent to one of the Roman unit or friendly, but Rathalos also deals a random damage to an enemy. So yeah, not so fun. Like I said, I really would have loved the 3/2 stat line here. Siphon Mine Chinese is a rare 2 mana, deals 2 damage to the leader and draw a card. So that can be, deal 2 damage to the leader, draw a card for 2 mana. It's not that bad, especially because it's going to trigger your Imperial Archer, your Imperial Guard, your Imperial Soldier. If you're playing them, it's going to also go with the Arcane, how do you call it? Arcane, when you the thing that surround your stones and they deal 2 damage when you play a spell. Siphon Mine's going to go with that. And you're going to draw another card. So you're basically going to cycle it, and you're going to deal 2 damage. So maybe you can finish that later. That is like behind all these units. It's going to be effective against range leaders, since basically this is 33% of their health. Melee leaders a little bit less, but you can have the upper end with that. So it's a decent card. Will we see play? Really depends what can replace it or what will be the point of your deck, but I can definitely see it in some of the decks. Let's move on into general. Improve the visual presentation for its effects. Yeah, they're amazing now. Improve the sound effects for all leaders in game. Yeah, they're better. HUD change. Also, I don't know if they're going to say it, but the colors in the games are much better also, especially for the leaders and the units in game. HUD change dispatch, we added a container for the combat log, an emote button, and we have moved the positions of the enemy leader ability to no longer block the play space. Oh, that's useful. Improve card casting. We have made a further improvement to card casting, providing players with a smoother and more fluid experience when deploying units and casting spell. I didn't even realize that. Victory, defeat, camera shot. We had a new camera angle to the victory and defeat screens once a match has completed. Yeah, so at least you can now enjoy more of your skins that you get. Balance. That's my favorite part. There's not a lot of them. Xiaofeng, increase health from 4 to 5. So basically now, it's not only +1 mana for a +1 attack brute. It's going to be +1 mana for a +1/+1 brute. And, it still has guard, so every Pantheon has that. And it's a beast, so it's really good with Nuwa. So yeah, that's going to basically, probably, we're going to see it in Nuwa. I don't think we're going to see it under other decks. Fury, increase health from 4 to 5. I'm starting to see a pattern here. They're really trying to push Nuwa to be better right here. And Fury, not only they buffed the movement from 2 to 3 before, but they standardized this. They even buff his L. So now it's a 6 mana 6/5 that doesn't take return damage. And, that's pretty good. Granted, that's probably just going to be Nuwa, so that plays this one. Game title. Why is that on balance? Game title has been changed from Smite Tactics to Hands of the Gods. Okay, I guess it's balanced. Soul, okay. Increased mana cost from 2 to 3. Yeah. Soul needed something. She was really, really meta defining, especially with a lot of Norse. So that's direct nerf to Norse. Now you cannot do the Web of Words into Soul on turn 6. But you can do it on turn 7, just after having charge Boldemon King, or charge Loki, or charge Ymir. So yeah, still going to be pretty effective. You're still going to see a bunch of them. Maybe not the 1/2 soul, but probably going to see a lot of 3/2 souls on the Web of Words. It's still so good. So, because it has charge, right? That's an AoE. So it's basically a mini annihilation when you play it with Web of Word. And, given that they added Raththosker, so the chances of getting soul, it's a little bit little, but you still have a good chance, right? You have 3 choice and there's 7 gods. So if you don't take soul, just take Loki, because it's really effective. Oh wait, there's no Loki or soul, just take Ymir. That's also really insane. Anyways, Weakening Curse is now permanent. Yeah, that was a little bit awkward that Crippling Curse was permanent, but Weakening Curse only for 1 turn. So now both of them are for permanent, and that's going to help a little bit more Greek, even though Norse and Greek were probably the best Pantheon before with Chinese. I don't know. I'm not sure about that, but in my opinion, Greek, Norse was first with like Freya ability being insane, and Greek coming down also with all their protects and the stuff that they can do and the removal that they can deal with. For example, to kill the Norse ones. Moving forward to the Bucks fix an issue where players weren't able to draw Roman cards from Touch of Midas. I guess they just couldn't do it. Fix an issue where Battle Rage could not buff your leader. Yeah, that was frustrating for me. I missed like 2 Leos for that one. Fix an issue where Ren of Arrow will not deal damage to the Sapling or Inferno Cano. Yeah, that was really misleading also. Fix an issue where Vulcan will have charge if spawn. Yeah, from spawn with like Recruiter, he will have charge for some reason. That was weird. Fix an issue where Leader will have their cost reset back to 3 after using Appeasement. So if you have the Leader that costs 8, you appease, you will go to 3, I guess. Fix an issue where Inferno Cannon could receive the bush from March. That was funny, man. Cannon moving. Anyways. Fix an issue where players were unable to silence a Wukong Ox form, I guess. I wasn't. Yeah, I didn't know about that. But the Ox forms still bug, or they fix that bug? I'm not sure. Fix an issue where the Touch of Midas could not discover Moon Gods. That's, I guess, goes with the first one. Fix an issue where Book of Thought was sometimes only discover 2 cards. Yeah, that was some screenshot I saw about that. That was really awkward. Fix an issue where even while banished, Janus' ability will still trigger. Hey, I'm the one who reported that one. Yeah, I was like, my Janus ability is still working even if my opponent banish it. I feel like that should not be a thing. So yeah, I guess it's fixed, and that was not supposed to be a thing. Cool. So thank you guys for watching. I really tried to do this one a little bit quicker because the other ones were really long and there were big patch notes. So I hope that you learned a lot. I hope that you enjoy it. Leave a like, leave a comment if you want to see something in the in the next upcoming days. Have a good one, and I'll see you soon.